Wanted to do a quick review of this new movie, Sorry Baby, because no one is really talking about it, despite the fact that it is one of the best movies of the year so far. This is the directorial debut of Eva Victor, who is also the writer and the star of this film, playing a young woman who had something bad that happened to her that I don't want to spoil, because one of the most harrowing parts of this entire film is discovering what that is early on. What the movie is really getting at is not necessarily the bad thing that occurs, but the fact that life goes on after that. I thought one of the most moving scenes of this entire film is actually what happens directly after the bad thing, which, by the way, we never really see on screen. But after the bad thing happens, she just sort of drives away. And there's this very long shot of her just driving, and she's not necessarily doing anything with her performance. She just looks sort of shell-shocked. And I found that to be just such a great choice, because it makes the audience think about, yeah, bad things happen to you, but then oddly enough, and kind of like in a morbidly comedic way, you just kind of go about your day as if nothing happened, even though your entire world has been shattered. And then not only do you go about your day, you just go about your life and try to move past it, and you never really do, I guess. This movie is just absolutely brilliant in a lot of ways, but one thing I love about it is quite moving. It is quite sad in a lot of moments, but it's also just incredibly funny, simply because this character is just an inherently witty person, and Eva Victor is just absolutely incredible on screen. She's charming and she's funny, but she's also, because she's the writer and the director, giving herself a lot of space as a performer. She has a couple of monologues in this film that are literally just pointing the camera at her that she absolutely nails. As great as she is as kind of a comedic performer in this film, she's just as good dramatically. She also assembles a really great supporting cast in this film. Naomi Ackie from Mickey 17 is in this movie as her best friend. Lucas Hedges, who I really love to see because he was so great in so many films and was kind of everywhere in the late 2010s, and then just sort of disappeared off the face of the earth for whatever reason. But he is delivering a very minor but still really effective role in this film, playing someone that this character gets in a relationship with following the bad thing that happened to her. One thing that was interesting with this character is that in a lot of other films, he would be perceived as sort of this savior who's here to heal this person. But this film goes a very different route. He's not necessarily this perfect knight in shining armor. He's just a guy that she sleeps with essentially sometimes, and then eventually develops an actual affection for. And basically every single person in the film besides Naomi Ackie's character, this is a person who doesn't know about the thing that happened to her. The ending is pretty good. I did have a couple issues with the very final scene, but I don't think it's too big a deal. It's almost a little bit on the nose with some of the dialogue. But other than that, I thought this was just an incredibly well-written film. So much great dialogue and an incredible score as well. A lot of just simple piano work that's very intimate and very sentimental in a great way. Also great cinematography. I don't know what camera they shot this on. I don't know what lenses they're using. I don't know what's going on, but it just looks absolutely gorgeous. It's comprised of largely wide establishing shots and then very intimate close-ups, and both of them equally look great. Editing wise, pacing wise, even with the shot composition, it just feels very calm and patient as a film, which is the kind of stuff that I really connect to. And it's doing so many different things. It's funny, it's sad, it's harrowing, it's very moving. It's also kind of scary sometimes, and then it simultaneously feels like a warm hug and a bit of a bummer of a movie. And Victor, as the writer and the director and the performer, along with the rest of the cast, is balancing this tone almost impossibly well. There's a few laughs in this film that happen in times where I wasn't expecting to laugh. In some of the tenser scenes of the entire film, Victor somehow finds ways to mine comedy out of it, which is almost the best time for comedy to occur as sort of a way to break the tension. And also, this character is just inherently comedic, just the way that she talks. I think Victor's really funny in this film. So yeah, I love this. Really great movie that no one is talking about right now. I think because it was released this week in the middle of Eddington, as well as the two big superhero movies coming out this year. So people just aren't really looking for it. Even if they are going for like a smaller film, they're going for Eddington, I guess. But yeah, people should watch this. You should watch this if you're watching this video, because it's great. One of the most moving films of the entire year. Honestly, one of the most funny movies of the entire year as well, and just really, really great. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. A film that is simultaneously quite important and also just really entertaining. So yeah, that's it. So watch this movie, and goodbye.